Which do you prefer, shakers or interactive cards? Of course, shakers are interactive, so that might be a trick question. Hello and welcome to Karen's Creative Cards on YouTube. I am Karen Hashik and I love both. And I'm sharing a bunch of shakers and interactive cards in this video featuring new shaker panes and coordinating die sets from Sizzix. So this was my first one, a very sweet bunny, baby and mama, and a sentiment, somebody loves you, and it is a very easily made shaker card. It's using the new shaker panes from Sizzix. So each one of these, I was just going to show you, has a raised pane that has tape on both sides that attaches very easily, and you put your shaker elements in there, and then this is a piece of acetate that's actually covered on both sides that you take off so it stays nice and clean. And I got the circles and the hearts, and I'm going to show you several cards with each one. So of course this one was made with the hearts, and then there were sets of dies and stamps that go with all of these, and this one I could not resist. It was that adorable mama bunny and baby bunny and some sentiments and the heart. So this first set was made with that. And then a few weeks ago Jennifer McGuire shared her favorite interactive card type that doesn't require any fancy dies to make, and I tried it and it is a new favorite of mine as well. So using that same set of dies and stamps, I made this card. Isn't that fun? Very easy interactive card, and I'm going to show you how to make that as well. I also purchased the camera set, and this one works with the circle. So I created this shaker card. I like to use little sequins and seed beads in my shakers. They move very well, and because it has that raised circle, these move really well, and that's the camera. And then I used the camera also to make this interactive card. This one we pull up so you can see the cute camera with the picture. That's my grandson, and then when you pull him up I tell him I miss you, and that's a fun interactive card made with the camera set. Now of course you don't need to use the Sizzix ones. Other dies and stencils work very well to make these interactive shaker cards. And I recently purchased the butterfly shaker die from Pretty Pink Posh and this layered butterfly stencil from Pretty Pink Posh, and I made this one. It is an eclipse look here, happy hello, with that pretty butterfly stencils in the background and the fun interactive movement with different colors of seed beads. Now of course all the details on all these cards will be on my blog, and links are in the description box to the blog post as well as the products featured. My favorite of the new die sets from Sizzix that coordinate with the shaker panes is this beautiful Blooming Heart set by Olivia Rose. I made this gorgeous shaker card with that set and a heart of those shaker panes from Sizzix, and these flowers are a die. And I really love how that one turned out. And then I also made this interactive card with that same set, and it has again that beautiful heart with the flowers. So of course these sets can be used for many cards, not just shakers. And then when you pull on this, you open it up it opens up and it says, "Hope your day is wonderful." So isn't that a fun interactive card? I agree with Jennifer. It has become my favorite as well. And I am going to make a card with those. But how about if we step it up and we create a card that is both interactive and a shaker? So I started with a 5-inch square card that I used a corner rounder on, and that is going to be the card base. And I'm creating the interactive card pull pieces with a rounded stitched dies from My Favorite Things. So that's a stitched die, and that's going to be on the piece that we're going to pull. And that's from My Favorite Things. And so I did make the card and this piece also with rounded edges to match that. I have a circle floral stencil. Let's see if I can find that. Okay. It is called the Flower Circle Stencil from Hero Arts, okay? And we're going to use that to decorate this card. But first, I have drawn a slit in the front of this piece. This is the card front. And according to Jennifer's instructions, you want a slit in here in the center. So I marked the center, and that's about 1.5 inches tall and maybe, I don't know, 1/4 inch wide. It is what the apparatus that you're going to pull on is going to come through. So you can use a die to cut this out, or you can just use a scissors and get it started and cut this slit out of here. And it doesn't matter if it's perfect or not, because it's going to be all covered up. So this piece I am going to decorate by adding color. Take some temporary tape. I did the back, but I did want to show you how I did it, so I'm going to do it again. I just centered this in here. And I'm just going to add some red ink to, but I would like it to be straight, right? That would be helpful. So this is a really cool stencil, and you could choose to make your flowers a different color than the stems, but I'm just going to use it to add some color all the way around this card front. And in this case, I am going to make it all red. Just to add a little color. So that temporary tape can be removed from the back. And we have a card front ready to go. The pull piece is cut about 8.5 by 1, and that length is longer than what you actually need, but we'll start with that. And the width is kind of determined by the pieces that you're using, but this piece is 8.5 by 1, and I've scored it at 2 and 2.5, and I put a good piece of strong tape on that 1/2 inch piece there, so that is ready to go. This is going to be in here, and we are going to be pulling our pieces to reveal the smaller piece will be covered by the larger piece. So this is going to be the large piece, and it's going to have a heart on there, but and then this is the smaller piece, and I've added a little bit of that stenciled color around the edge, and then sending hugs, and that's what's going to be hidden underneath the bigger piece. So we're going to glue the smaller piece onto this 2-inch tab at the end of this. Right up to the edge and centered. While we let that set up, I have die cut the heart from that die set out of white, and then I die cut the background heart out of a red iridescent mirror card from Tonic. I cut this out with a sticky sheet on the back because this mirror card doesn't really like glue. So these are going to stick together, and there's a tiny border. And this is going to go on the center of here. But in the meantime, I'm going to add this piece. So the larger of the two front elements goes on this little 1/2-inch piece here, and it's going to cover the other one up. And so I'm going to center it there. So you can see that. And I think I'll go ahead and add this piece to the front. I just put some large 2-sided sticky tape on there, centering that on there. Now when we add this to this piece, we're going to want it centered, and you attach it by adding a good strong piece to this left side of the smaller of the two elements. So you can make those hearts or circles or squares or whatever you would like. I knew I wanted to use hearts, but they didn't really line up well, so I put the heart on top of the rounded squares. So if I remove this piece, I guess I don't want that little bit showing. Alright, so I'm going to put this in the center and then press down. That piece holds it in place, and then when you open it, you see sending hugs. Now I have a tiny little pull here. Let's make sure it's the right way up. I'm not sure because it's so tiny. Let's try it on a piece we don't care about. I think, I'm not sure. Yep, that's right, side up. Okay, it's a tiny pull from an Internet Active set of stamps that I have, and I am going to stamp that right on the end here. And then I'm going to trim this off so it's only sticking out, well, maybe a 1/4 of an inch or so. And then we're going to attach this to the front of our card base. I think I'll use this. If I just used regular tape runner, sometimes after a while that no longer sticks. And I pulled out a card one time for my husband, and it just totally fell apart. And I was like, well, this isn't good. I don't want that to happen if people are trying to save my cards, and sometimes they do. It's nice to think that they might. So of course we're keeping the adhesive well away from the interactive element there. And then this is a side folding card. And we just want to make sure. Okay, I guess it's attached. So that's our card base, and then it opens up and it says sending hugs. But what I decided was I not only going to make the interactive card, I'm going to make it a shaker. So I have the smallest of the 3 hearts from that set from Sizzix, and you can see that it has a raised area for putting the elements inside. And then what's really cool is that it has a the tape all around the back and the front, so it makes it really easy to attach. So there it is, adhesive that I'm just going to push down on, and it's going to stick. And I decided that I was going to just have a small interactive heart here. And then I'm going to use a little bit of my powder in there. I don't know if it needs it or not, but it doesn't hurt, right? And then I have a few pink hearts and some red beads, and I am going to put them inside here. I like the shaker beads. They really move well. I know I don't need a lot, but I kind of want a few more hearts. I think that's probably... Okay, we're going to stop there. Too many is not a good thing either, right? Now then there's also easily removable two-sided tape along the top. And then what I really like is the adhesive, the acetate piece actually has a cover on it on both sides. Do you know that when you're working with acetate, if you touch it a lot or if it's been in a drawer or whatever, it comes out and it's all scratched? Well, that is not going to be the case here because there is a cover on both sides. And this acetate piece is just pristine. It's just perfect. And then I need to attach this to the top of the heart. And see how easy that was? And we have a shaker heart on top of our other one. And then when we pull this, of course, that's going to shake as well. So we have an interactive pulling and shaking card. So I thought that was kind of fun. I love how these cards turned out and hope they have inspired you to add some interactivity to the next cards you make. For more interactive card ideas, click on the next video and find time to have some creative fun this week.